Hello and welcome to everybody tuning in today. My name's Josh Blakeley. I'm the owner of Landscape and Hardscape Contractor Marketing. And today we're going to be taking a look at the 2026 AI and Automation Playbook for landscape, hardscape, and outdoor living contractors. And really today we're going to be diving into a specific platform, which we'll get to in a second, on there's just been a huge amount of advancements that have come through over the over the last year, particularly with AI and automation, as expected, as we all, and there will be tons more to come through. So let's dive into it, and we'll get started on what's going to be going through now. And really, all of this it starts to fall into what we call accelerated growth map. And a big part of this is looking at, okay, we can be driving leads to a business. We can then be looking at how do we actually convert them into paying customers the most. And then what can we do to keep optimizing it? AI and the automation side of things absolutely helps with a lot of the conversion side of things and the optimization of results. But it really, it's all encompassing this as well. So while we're going to be touching on a lot of these marketing topics and have done on other webinars and workshops, today is going to be really dialing in across a lot of these channels here. From the marketing side of things, what we really focus on, we call it our digital dominance method. So for our clients, we're pulling together all the pieces here to be bringing in great quality leads, inquiries to a business, and then doing what we can here. So we've got down the left-hand side there, the marketing automation side of things. What we're going to talk on today really speeds up a lot of these processes for you as the business owner. So some of the things that you'll know by the end of this session is how to plug in tools that you actually use, teaching AI on how your company actually does things, and then actually the next step is an AI assistant that's doing the work. It's not just talking about it on a chat window with you, but it's doing it for you. So sitting down, getting the results, working this through is going to be the best way to actually get information into implementation and get the results you want to. So if you're serious about this, make sure you're implementing it. If you're watching it back, pause. We'll do what you need to do to go through this. But a bit about us, why listen to me. This is our core industry. We focus on we're really focused on the green industry as a whole, and everything we do we're tailoring around our strategies and our growth programs to what we see as working in the market, and as that changes, pivoting and adapting that way as well. So much so I've written a book on the marketing strategies for this industry as well. You can get a free copy at backyardempirebook.com, and you can get an Amazon copy there if you want to. But this is our core focus. So really, that's where we're coming from, this experience with our agency ourselves, and then with our clients and what we're implementing through that. So a little bit about the AI progression here. 2023, AI content writers started to come out. You could have them write paragraphs or write really small articles for you as well. But now in 2026, really AI, it can read through all of what you've got going on pretty much. There are most platforms have some way you can bring AI in and have AI read that. And now we're getting to points where it can be following up, reporting, getting rid of the busy work really as well. So core things still matter. Making sure you're responding to leads promptly, making sure you've got a solid sales process in place is going to win you the jobs as well. But this is how you help speed things up for your business and really amplify a lot of what you're already doing. So today, we're going to be doing a deep dive into AI and automation platform called Claude, which I'm sure at this point, a lot of people have probably heard about this. ChatGPT came out. It was one of the main AI platforms really at the beginning, and Claude was happening around that too. But really, because I'm focusing on Claude, it's what we're using predominantly. And just the features right now and what can be done with Claude is really amazing. So it's one of the most accessible platforms. So really, today is a deep dive into this. If you haven't tried it, here's a chance for you to see what's possible. If you are using it, hopefully there'll be some things here that you can start to implement that you might not have had a chance to here as well. So the core things we're going to be going through today is some key features of Claude. And it's kind of like you're taking someone through an onboarding process for the first time. And the three core things we're going to be diving into today is the connectors section of Claude, which is really giving Claude access to your tools with boundaries on that. And then the skills section, we're going to be looking at, okay, how do you actually train this platform on knowing how you do things, your playbooks? And then Cowork is this next component of Claude, which is a pretty recent addition in the last few months of now an AI assistant that will actually do the job without you have to be being in the chat box, all doing it manually yourself. And you can also be using this to set up recurring tasks as well. So those are the core parts of Claude we're going to be diving into. And I'm going to share my screen as we go through this. Okay. So firstly, the connector side of things. It's a secure link between Claude and different apps. So different apps have different connections. There are a couple of parts here as well. Once this is connected, it's just going to work from that point on. So what I wanted to dive into with this now was showing you on Claude what the connector side of things actually looks like. So this is inside Claude. Then in your settings section, you've got this part called connectors. And they're actually under a different section here. But pretty much out of the box, Claude has a whole bunch of different platforms it has already got a library for, essentially. So first port of call, like when you're putting your connectors in, is to look at, okay, what software are you using already? And just start typing that in. So, I mean, you can see there's a bunch of ours on the side, but the real key ones is any of the Google platforms. Microsoft 360, another one, if you're using that. A lot of businesses really, that's going to cover the majority of the things here. But here's where you can start actually connecting in the platform here to read your emails, access your Google Drive files, reading your calendar and things like that. Then what happens? You can see some of these. There are custom connectors. So if QuickBooks is another big one here. A lot of businesses are using, and those other financial platforms as well. If it doesn't have a native connection, then there are a lot of what we call custom connectors, and you can do a bit of a search. You can use AI to help you. It'll help you just generate the information needed here to connect up some of the other platforms that might not have an official connection. And if they don't have an official one, high chances that's in the breakdown of things soon to come. And then Gmail, for instance, you can allow it to do these things, or you can get it to ask for approval, and it will tell you the types of things here. So big one, creating a draft email, needing approval for that. We always use it for drafting emails there, but that's how your connectors work. And then when you're doing your chat, I'm using the desktop version here. It will tend to there's a setting essentially to say, okay, yeah, it will use these connectors as required, but you can turn them off if you don't want them being used specifically here as well. But now think of this as the keys. It's giving this platform access to all of those particular software connections you want. So that's a little bit about the connector side of things. So we kind of covered a lot of the things there. Yeah, the CRM, email. So we use our platform, JBL Connectors. Our CRM is built on High Levels platform. That's a custom connector, but we have that in, and we have multiple accounts, and then we have a lot of client accounts. We can pull up data or any of that through Claude very easily. Then, yeah, like I said, if there's anything also that's not that can be connected, there are other tools that specialize in connections. Zapier is one of them. It's a connection tool that can do that as well. So connectors, number one, is you need it in place. So step one, you've got to put all that together, connect in what you're going to be using for your business as well. Now, next side of things I want to talk about is the Cowork part. And outside of chat, and it does need to be you do need to be on a paid plan to get access to Cowork. So regular chat, that is Claude talking to you now. The Cowork platform is operating on your computer, and it's also connecting into those connectors that you set up. and it would now do the work for you. So you tell it what you want it to be able to do, and it's going to start working through a plan and putting that together for you. So here's just a couple of examples, and I'll show you one in just a moment. But it can do a lot with recurring reports from QuickBooks, finance issues there. Folders, if you're regularly adding content to a folder on Google Drive, you can have it turn that into emails for your newsletter or website content, social media content. It can even read through your Google Drive, just be renaming folders if it's a mess. It'll help coordinate and do that for you. It can give you reports through your CRM about what needs to be followed up, or if there's maybe some leads at risk of dropping off. Maybe someone hasn't responded to them. So yeah, this scheduling component is really powerful with Cowork as well. So let me take you through what we can actually see and do. We've got a little template project here we can go through. So Cowork lives over here, and I mean, here's essentially a draft task I did before. So I'm just going to actually run this again. So what I did do, I did give it a demo, a folder to read. I actually didn't read it properly, so I ended up giving it the photo directly. But here is a little bit of information. A fictional business. We have a fictional portfolio website for this business called Greenline, who are based out of Austin, Texas, and we want to create an email just showcasing a project that they have done recently. So that's where this is coming from. In this demo project folder, we do have one AI image, which I am actually going to add directly because it wasn't able to read this before. So in fact, I will drag and drop this one directly over. That's the image that it wasn't able to access. I'll actually edit this. So that's going to start getting to work here. And once this is done, I can have it do other things. I can actually have it send a draft email through my Gmail if I wanted to. I could then have it save this as a Google Doc on the Google Drive and things like that. So what you can do, you can actually see how it's working through, and often it will ask you questions. So quick choices, what is the main angle? And we want it as a project showcase, medium article. What should readers do at the end? We just want them to enjoy it and just to see this project that's been created. We haven't really specified that it's much more about this. So there are deeper things you can go through, and you can build what's called projects in Claude to give it more context to this as well. So this is pretty basic what we've done, but and there's this context folder, this section here. You can get it to reference that really. And that's the last thing we're going to set up, is looking at Claude skills on how to train it on your method of doing things. And you might have a writing style you want to emulate. You might have certain things you want to always be talking about as a business in these things. But you can see, it's presented this file out here just from basic information on the business and one photo. It's going through this. Obviously, for something like this, you would give it a lot more context here as well. But it is kind of gone off whatever context it could get out of this. But now you have this article, and something in the previous. I'll show you what happened with the previous method. It was trying to read it off Google Drive. It actually couldn't read it properly. It says it couldn't be rendered. So I asked it, how can I get you to read the image? And it just said, give me the file pretty much. And it did that. And it pulled it together there as well. But this could also connect into a CRM or an email newsletter platform, and you could have it draft that pretty much, or even send it depending on the availabilities. But that's what happens here. I already approved this to read my Google Drive, but you'd need to approve it to give information about other things there as well. So a little bit on what's possible with Cowork is going through that section. Now, last part we're diving through here is just the skills, the playbook around things here. So pretty much without you having to reprompt the AI, it's an instruction you give, and you can turn these on or off, and you can have multiple skills working together in one chat or one Cowork, but it stays there forever. So when you're wanting to train this at the beginning, your voice, your standards, everything like that, it's going to be matching that. And then, of course, if you see something is not right as you go, you just have to go into that skill, tweak it a little bit, test it, see what happens there. But you've got everything all in one place. So, a couple of things you could be building out this week is, and I'll show you my screen how you do this as well. But review reply, you can train responses to your Google reviews in your brand voice. And if you have, we use an SEO platform that's connected into the Google business profiles for our clients, and we could implement this too and train it to respond through that platform. Whereas you might not have a tool like that, but you would at least get the output, and you would do your manual reply through your Google business profile dashboard. You can send quick follow-ups if you want to start testing out how to pull that together, working out which methods you want to send to people. And then, of course, a lot of CRMs are going to do that as well, but this can also start automating some parts there to make it less manual along the way. We just demonstrated it, a project. You could always have that be written a certain way. And then also, whatever systems and processes you have in place for new leads, you can start putting this into Claude or another platform here to training it on what the questions you're asking and what you see as proven to work in your sales process. So let's just go through and take a look at the skills side of things as well. So under normal chat, you can do your connectors or your click this plus button. Like we said, the connectors you can enable or keep them on, and there's a setting that will only choose to use these when it needs to. But skills, this is not normally the laptop the skills section I'm using here, but you can also use the Claude built-in skill creator to help you put these skills together. But you can add a skill, and there are a whole bunch already set in place. Here's one, brand guidelines. You can put that in here, and essentially just edit this to be what's relevant to your business. But for using the skills, you can tell it, hey, I want to be managing and using this specific skill for that. I talked a little bit about projects before. That's another section too. You can give more of your chat a context about your business and be building that out. It can read Word files, Google Sheets, Google Docs, everything like that, or simple text for that one there too. But now when you're combining this together, Cowork can also reference this. You could give it a new task and you could tell it, specify which type of skill to be using each time. So we've got more of these set up in here. And one thing I didn't mention about Cowork is, and because we're not using this computer for most of our Cowork things in the business, you would see some scheduled tasks. We have things that are running daily, things that are running weekly through here, and they get, as long as the computer is turned on, connected to the internet, it's running through that way. And then dispatch, still in beta. It's been a little bit hit or miss for us so far, but you can actually then be chatting on your phone app for Claude to have this actually be working in the background while you're out and about as well. So there's some other powerful sections there. But that about gives a rundown of what's possible at a pretty base level introduction to these tools. But this is going to get more and more detailed around what's possible. So that's why I really want to take the time today to do the intro to Claude and see what the possibilities are if you weren't aware of any of this so far. And definitely worth the investment of putting Claude into practice as well. We're not tied to any specific AI tools, but this is one of the ones we're seeing work the best for us, and we know for our clients it's going to be great possibilities here for that. And we are seeing there are landscape outdoor living companies we know using these systems already and getting amazing results for their business and efficiencies and outcomes doing it that way. So again, just to pull it all together, connectors are what's giving you access to those tools. The skills are the playbooks, the standards in your business, and then Coworkers is really your AI assistant that's going to be handling things for you and can be scheduled to do things on a regular occurrence for you. So one of the things to be looking at is really thinking through, okay, what is this busy work that is taking up time for you and your team? How can you start replacing that so that yourself and your team can be focusing on these high level tasks? And the great thing is, you monitor it, you look at what's happening, you check the outputs, and you adjust as you need to. So the possibilities there is once you've programmed it, a lot of these things just need little tweaks, if anything, as things change over time. So the great part there is it's not replacing people; it's amplifying what you've already got into place and allowing just more scale, more efficiencies on yourself and your team. So some great starting points. Something I would recommend everyone do: connect in one tool, even if it's starting with your emails and just setting up a summary of key emails that have come through for that week is something you could have Claude Cowork set up a weekly reminder, maybe Monday morning of maybe something over the weekend, to get it to check back the last 3 days or so to catch Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Anything that's really high priority that needs to be responded to is an example there, or connecting into some of your finance side of things there too. Some great starting points there as well. And the skill, building out a skill about how you want your business to respond to reviews online would be a great, easy pick. Start small, get those small wins coming from that, and just build from there. So that's your homework. That's the starter plan I'd recommend you get going with. And if you've got any questions, absolutely drop them in the chat now. Happy to walk through anything there. Or if you have anything that you want to chat through on that, you can reach out to us through our website, through our phone, anything like that to kind of ask more questions. Would be more than happy to kind of dive into what you might be seeing in your business and how we could recommend AI solutions and automation in that there as well. So thank you for spending some time with us. If you want to chat, there's our number, like I said. And this is Josh Blakeley from Landscape and Hardscape Contractor Marketing. Have a great day.